Hello people from Soundland. Today I consider it's time to turn back to another chapter from our channel. As you know, in the last time we've issued a lot of episodes with pedals with Johan together. Johan gonna be in the future with us again, but till then we turn back to the mixing chapter. And for today, I thought it's better to prepare you some tips about my working flow and also how you can use Cubase without external plugins. So, completely mix with what Cubase can provide. In this case, I use the 10.5, not the last one, the 11, it's the 10.5 Pro, the Cubase. Could be also interesting for other people that have no Cubase, but they can understand how workflow looks like for a rock band. Because today we're gonna use recording with the band names or the guy who composed. It's Pablo Martin, and the song name is Progresivo Uno El Vuelo. I don't know the band, I don't know nothing about these guys. It's a demo song from the Cambridge page. I took it just for you, for educational reason. I don't want to mix it and make money with. It's just for educational reason, but I've chosen it because I like it. It's quite a nice progressive metal instrumental song. So, as I've told you, in this video, in this episode, we start again a series of mixing tips. Easy one, as simple as you can work with the Cubase to mix a normal band. We don't talk about EDM or other electronic or I don't know which kind of styles. It's about metal rock band or recording, let's say. So we're gonna discover together what are the provocations of this recording. So, okay, like I've told you, we're gonna continue with a few tips. How can we mix everything using the Cubase presets? Very important, and people, you need to understand this. The recording is very, 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 very important. How the instruments sound in your recordings. You need to take time for this, to find the sweet spot of the instrument. Talk with the instrumentist from your bands or the bands that comes in your studio to understand and to be patient, because it's for them the sound, a good sound takes time, and as good as it is the sound, as less you need to process in the DAW. And if it's not too much process in the DAW, you maintain the harmonics of the instruments and also the thickness, the clarity of the instruments, and it's a huge, huge help for any mix. That's why here we have a very good mix. I suspect the drums elements are part of them generated or sampler. There are two clear. That doesn't exist gates that cut so well. That's why I suspect it's not quite acoustic drum, but sound like an acoustic drum, sound very good. And finally, it doesn't matter if it helps the project, doesn't matter if it is a sample or an acoustic drum, a natural one. We have three mix consoles in Cubase. This is the 10.5, the Pro. That's why, as you know, here in studio we have three mix consoles. Yeah, I assign buttons for them. I have F3, F4, and F5 for them. And I split the instruments in 3 mix consoles because I have 59 channels here in this project. I mean just the instruments tracks, yeah, 59. That's why, and I'm gonna show you. Look, F3, and we have the first mixer, which contain the complete kit to drum, some effects for the drum, what there's tambourine, and bass 1 and bass 2, yeah? For sure, 2 basses, the instrument basses, just for the instruments, the whole instruments, and also an all or a stereo bass. I use most of the time a stereo bass before the original stereo bass from the DAW. It's more flexible, I can put a lot of things here, and also I can drive with this volume the last stereo bass. Doesn't matter, it's a matter of how you are used to work. And for me, it's like this. What we're gonna do, we're gonna identify the overheads. I start most of the time with the drums and most of the time with the overheads from the drum. You can treat the overheads in 2 ways, in my opinion. First, like the main image of the drum. Everything depending on the style of the music, instruments that you have, the band, atmosphere, your inspiration in this day. But the first method that I use is to consider the overheads as the main image of the drum and then process accordingly. Coming after that with the elements, the other elements, kick, snare, and everything to complete and focused on every element more or less. The other method that I use is to treat the overheads just like cymbals, and most of the time I use this method in crowded mixes for metal or progressive metal, like the song today. The song today, it's like I've told you in the beginning, it's a progressive metal. Let's hear it a little, just a little, to see what it's about. Okay, very important here, we have the raw material. It's not just one process. Maybe I have a, and this could be a, how it names, compressor. Let's see the mixer, F3, yeah? F3, the first mixer. Yeah, we have this compressor here. Let's get it out. Most of the time I use this in the stereo bus. We're gonna use it, but wait a second. As I've told you, this is a song, raw material, everything in center. It's nothing put it in panorama or to create the stereo image. That's why we started from the beginning. How I, which is my method of working. I was taught, and after years I understand why, to use from the beginning a compressor. A small compressor just for, how can I say, to tame the peaks, yeah, of the mix. This, I'm gonna use it in the stereo bus. Compressor, the standard one. And here we can find the presets of this compressor on this side. Yeah, load preset. Then snare. Do we have here a bus? No, we don't have. A drum bass, maybe. A drum bass. No, compressor doesn't have. So, doesn't matter. We're gonna do it by ourselves. That means an attack somewhere in 60 milliseconds without hold, release, a fast release. As I've told you, we don't need a huge one. 2.1 the ratio. Perfect. We're gonna let it like this. Let's see what's happened. Okay, for the moment, it's enough. And also in the main stereo bus, we're going to use a limiter. Like it is, I just engage it, and I didn't touch the buttons, yeah? Just to keep the complete mix to 0, yeah? It's a limiter, engaged, also from, yeah, in channel stripe from Cubase. And a cut in 30 Hertz to get rid of the rumbles, that frequency down. This is the only process that I use from the beginning in stereo buses to maintain the mix in limit somehow. Now, what is to do? First of all, I'm gonna select just the drum channels, yeah? How I'm gonna do this? Selecting the first one, the kick, then going with the mouse to the last one that I consider drum, and I consider drum the last one, the room channel, then comes tambourine, FX and basses, yeah? So, the last one is the room, shift, click on this channel, on the room channel, and we have selected the complete drum kit. Now it's selected. Why I've selected this? Very simple, to click the mouse right and goes to add group channel to selected channels, because I want to create a new group just for the drum kit. And selecting the whole channels and then going here, we have a group for all these channels that was selected. So, stereo configuration, for sure. Audio outputs, where we gonna send this channel? This channel we wanna send in the bus for the instruments, yeah? So, we're gonna send it in instruments group, create inside folder, let it by default, and the name is gonna be drum, because it is a drum bus. Now we have it in to the end of this mix console. What is to do? Let's get back to the editor. Scrolling down, you're gonna find this channel here in the group tracks, yeah, because it's its own folder. We have it here. Move it, take it and move it up, and I'm gonna put it after the drum. We have the last one, drum room, and the bass drum, or the group drum, let's say, yeah? F3, back to the mixer. Now, upper corner right, engage this area, the left zone. The channel, this channel with blue, you see it? It's already on, so it's active. Down below we have two areas, channel and zones. Go in zones, and let's select this point, and now the channel is in the left side of the mixer, exactly in the position that we need. Look, it's here, and now the same here. For every move, for every setting that you wanna see, I don't wanna stay losing time explaining everything in every detail, because you have more information also on the screen. You can stop the video, make a still image, and look to the settings and what I've selected and what it was there. So now we have a group just for the drums. You see, soloing this group, it solo the whole kit. For sure, also the output buses, yeah, the buses that comes in the chain through the output. And now we have here the yeah, just the drum. Overheads. I've told you, let's start with the overheads. Here, a very short discussion about the overheads. We need to identify where the hi-hat is. Why? Because this is a project for education, for educational reason or purposes, and I don't know nothing about the drummer. I don't know nothing about the kit. I have this project taken from Cambridge, and no idea how it looks at the band. Don't know what they use, how they use, and it's this debate. In my opinion, it's a debate that makes no sense. Where need to be the position of the listener, in front of the band or behind the drummer? That's why most of the time you're gonna see the recordings have different position of the hi-hat, left or right, but not just because of this. It's also because some drummers are left-handed drummer or yeah, opposite. If you ask me, the best is to maintain the listener position because it's natural. You as a listener, you are never behind the drummer, never. You are every time in front of the band. In a concert, in front of the boxes, you are in front of the band. You are not in back of the band. If you are in the back of the drummer, mixing with from that position, then you need to hear completely other sound. But this is completely other discussion. Finally, it's a matter of taste. Doesn't matter if you make it from behind the drummer. It is not wrong. It's just my opinion. It's better in front. That's why. Let's identify how it's this recording, and it's very easy. Let's listen the overheads. Obvious, the hi-hat it's in left, how I hear it. It's in my left ear. It's important to know where it is, because after that, when you want to make the panorama for the rest of the elements, for the toms, for a hi-hat, yeah, you need to know where they are. If it's not in the correct position, then a tom could be here and the image of the tom in the overheads in the other direction, and for sure then is nothing fit, and yeah, it's not a mix. Okay, let me change fast, just for me to be happy with. Let me change fast the position. So we can find here in audio process stereo flip and flip left to right. So channel left with right and right with left. Now the position is correct. Good. How I gonna treat this overheads? At the main image of the drum, or just as how it names cymbals? I'm gonna treat it in the both direction. It's a progressive one, but the overheads are very nice, and not just. We have cymbals and rights separate recorded, which is a good thing. We can go more chirurgical inside the cymbals. That's why overheads, first of all, we're gonna look here in channels presets. Let's search for overheads. heads. Okay, we have it already. Let's choose the first one, tight rock, for example. Let's see what's happened. What we have, look what's happened. It's already an equalizer active, a compressor, a tube compressor active, and the tape saturation. How it sound? Good, but I've told you I want to treat them in the both direction. That's why we're going to create high pass, and we're going to cut high to the limit where the bass drum, where we can hear the bass drum. Okay, the bass drum going to be till high in the spectrum because have the top, but I want to erase the most of the energy of the bass drum. As much as I can, but maintaining as much as I can from the rest of the image. Why? Because it's progressive, because it's metal, and I want to have a clean bass drum. And very punchy and clear, and I want to hear it. That's why I don't need the echo that is created by the distance of the overheads. I have a feeling it's a little bit like a car tone somewhere, like you hit a car tone frequency somewhere. Let me search for and eliminate it. Okay, much better. And here in the compression, I have the feeling that I need more compression. If you ask me, so the mix, it was in the middle, it was somehow like a parallel compression. That's why I put the mix completely. Yeah. Okay, and I squeeze more the compression. For the moment, I'm gonna let it like this. We're gonna see in context what's happened further. But for the moment, let it like this. Let's move fast to the kick. Let's hear a little bit the kick. Let me limit a little bit. I wanna make a loop, a shorter one, not this big one. Okay. As you hear, the bass drum very clear, is nothing to say wow, but it's nice, clear and punchy, and everything have the whole spectrum is perfect. That's why it's not so complicated. Back to the mixer. Let's search in the database of the channel presets. A kick. Punchy rock. Kick drum. The first one. Why not? Okay. Look what happened. Here is the equalizer, a vintage compressor, envelope shaper, very nice to correct the attack and everything, and the tape saturation. Let's hear it. Without. With. It's very obvious, yeah? I'm tempted here to cut in 50 Hertz. I'm gonna make a high pass. For the beginning, I don't want to let this rumble from the sub to make, I don't know, maybe gonna create some mods in the mix. For the beginning, let it as clear as possible. That's why, let's listen with the overheads together. Yeah, okay, not bad. The overhead's a little bit too loud. Doesn't matter. We're gonna see what's happened in the after we take a look for the snare. So, snare. Let's see very fast. I study a little bit this before for sure, and it's like this. The snare have a short track. The first one, yeah, first snare have a short track. Maybe it was a reinforced snare just for this passage. Who knows? Maybe here the drum it was not so punchy, or yeah, that's why they reinforced here the snare. We're gonna let this snare for the moment closed, and let's focus for the other channels. We have still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels, yeah. And as I study the problem, I can tell you this channel selected here, it's the main one for me, for this song. That's why, let's name it snare main. Let's hear it. Good. Then comes another 2 snares, the same somehow, not 100% identically, but somehow. And more tail, yeah? That's why I've decided this to make them stereo. So left, and this I'm gonna name it right. F3, let's go to the mixer and try to make a panorama, not just. Let's make them group together. So select the first, shift or control, select the second one, and click right, link selected channels. And I'm gonna link just the volume parameter. Now we have both in the, yeah, one touch. Let's hear it together. Okay, good. Bigger image, a little bit open, then the main snare, very nice. The next 2, I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna let them in center. It's an open snare, more spring in the microphone. Yeah, much open sound, and for sure the bottom. Theoretically, if you have time, stay and you need to stay and to process every element. But for this drum, which is nicely recorded, we can treat all these channels as one. Let me just to create group for these channels, like I've told you in the beginning, yeah? Stereo instruments, no, I want to send this in drum, so the signal goes in drum group, yeah, here in the blue, drum group, and the name gonna be snare. It's here, the same procedure like it was in the beginning when we created the other group. And here we're gonna identify it. It's in the group tracks, like always, taking and moving in its place. That means where the snare channels are finished. Here, let me rename this as snare open. Open, I mean the sound, yeah? Open sound. And this one is the bottom. Good. We have it. And look what's happened. As you see, we have just one channel now, a group for all these snares. Let's apply. Let's apply a process channel preset. Let's find the snare. The first one, just to try. Have a ring, have a big tail, as you remark. I don't like it for this song. But before starting to tweak some buttons, let me show you what you can do. It's just easy, change the preset. It's much easier than to stay and focus on the buttons. You can do this after you choose the right preset and in the mix. So, what we can choose here, let's choose the snare drum 2, the tight rock. Yeah. And we have this curve for the equalizer. I'm tempted here to cut it 70. It's enough for the bottom. Yeah. And the channel stripe have a tube compressor, noise gate. Yeah, interesting. Envelope shaper and the tube saturation. Let's hear it. Yeah, much punchier and less tail. Nice. Let's hear it together with the bass drum or kick and the overheads, which could be a little bit too high volume. So guys, not bad at all. And everything with the Cubase elements. In this episode, I just want to show you how to construct the main image of the drum. Overheads, bass drum, snare. The last thing that I'm tempted to do is to try a drum bass process, to see which is the final result for the drum. Let's try to... We have. Perfect. So Cubase have also preset for the channel for the bass, for the drum bass. Very nice. Let's choose the first one, tight rock. Why not? If we start with the rock, let's continue with this rock. And it looks like this. This is the equalizer and process. Compressor, a classic one, tape saturation and the limiter. Let's hear it. Without. So we have it. We have it. We've done all this with the elements that are in the Cubase. So without using fancy and expensive plugins, or I don't know which other kind of software. In the last versions of Cubase, you can find this kind of presets full of elements, full of gears that help you to obtain what do you want. Punchier, slapping, equalizer that let you cut or make it louder, some frequencies. Doesn't matter what do you want to do, Cubase have all these tools to help you to obtain your sound. For sure, for the people who compose in EDM or, I don't know, electronic music, there are other elements that can help, but Cubase have it also. It have all these elements for all these styles. The extreme things that you cannot find, I don't know, maybe you want an extreme thing, who knows which color effect or which phase, special phase with I don't know which color, then you need to buy some other plugins. But for the basic and not just process, Cubase, it's more than enough. We're going to continue in the next episode with the cymbals, hi-hat, rides, toms, and maybe bass. Maybe. If we have time, we're going to continue with the bass also. If not, in other episodes. That's all, folks. So, thank you so much. If you have questions, down below in the comments, leave your questions, and I try to answer to everybody. Maybe you need answers for working flow or, I don't know, plugins, everything that is related with the episode that it was today. Please subscribe. Then you stay informed about the future episodes and what comes next. As I've told you in the beginning, Johan comes in the future with new episodes. Pedal, that is not that pedal show like somebody told me. No, it's completely other thing. And stay safe till next time here in Soundland.